Hey, good evening. It's 6:15 p.m. It is October 3rd, and I just got home from work a few minutes ago. I would say, well, a little bit longer than that, maybe about 30 minutes or so. So I'm just kind of kicking back here, and today I wanted to share some stuff that I got at the Dollar Tree. And I've been doing a lot of thinking in the last few weeks. Mentioned that I had accepted a job offer, and so far so good. I'm in my little routine, and I enjoy going to work every day. But I was thinking that this issue of the targeting took out a lot of my life. Okay, and this is something I'm always reminded of. Okay, um, I think for people who've been watching my story, I was really puzzled in the beginning of like, where is all this coming from? And then I found out all this stuff, the cloning stuff and blah, 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 blah. My mom, Mary Gordon, isn't my mother. And it's so devastating, okay? Because it wipes out so much of your life. You know what I mean? It wipes out your past. You're frozen in the present, and your future's like, man, what in the world's gonna happen? You just feel emotional desolation. How about that? That's a good word for it. To where I don't really feel like I have a lot of thoughts running into my head that keep me entertained other than my creative work that I do. And I don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing my work. I really do enjoy going to my job every day. Like, there's certain things that are going on that I like to get my little hands in because, I always feel like, okay, I enjoy doing work. Anything that allows me to put things together, organize stuff, I tend to get really excited over. Okay, and when you have everything wiped out of your life, you tend to get excited over everything. So this is what I'm living for. This is what's keeping me hanging on to life. Okay, so I have decided to be committed into being as frivolous and maybe as what do you call it? Like getting interested in things that most people just don't really think that big of a deal, right? Like, okay, like I'm grateful. Okay, I'm grateful of the little things that I get in life. Okay, and no matter how small it is, like I have to feel like I have to make a big deal out of it. And the reason why is because I'm appreciating things that are cute more. I'm appreciating things that give me a choice. You know what I mean? As no as small as it is, it's something to be grateful about. Okay, so today actually last night I was on this thing about I'm getting paid tomorrow, right? And I know I have gone through a tremendous nightmare with bills piling up. I ended up getting my vehicle repossessed, okay, because of the targeting. Okay, so I'm literally starting all over again at 53 years old. Okay, and so we all know my story. Okay, it's like, oh my god, I cannot believe your life just got wrecked like that. Yes, my life got wrecked like that. Okay, and like I said, I'm now starting to really heal myself with things that give me comfort. Like I said, no matter how small it is. Okay, so let's talk about my workplace, right? All right, so now you're probably rolling your eyes at this, but seriously, this is what it's come down to when it comes to my thought process. Because, like I said, thinking about people that I used to know in the past is not, it's too much for me. And, just certain memories or triggers that I would rather not relive. Okay. So, like I said, it's all moving forward. There's not a whole lot of activity that goes on in my life. Okay. So each morning I get to work. Now, I no longer have a commuter mug. Now, I used to have I used to have a shitload of commuter mugs, right? I used to collect them, mainly at places like AM PM that used to give you that used to if you bought like a coffee, then you can also purchase additional amount of money. You can get like a commuter mug, and I love commuter mugs. Why? Because they keep your coffee hot for like ever, right? I love them, right? But through the years, I've gotten rid of those because they wore out, and then I remember purchasing. What is that lady? She's the pioneer woman. I had like two coffee commuter mugs with them, and I love the little design on it. And so then I had like some smaller ones, and I remember accidentally leaving them in my last apartment that I moved out of when I moved here. So Maria doesn't have commuter mugs, right? So I just recently started this job. So luckily they have these cute little coffee cups, right? That you can choose from, and they got little designs on it, right? And so because I feel like, hey, I need to take advantage of my choices that I have, okay? Okay, and as small as it is, I look forward to making my little selection of coffee cups every day. Okay, so I think it's really cool when people have, like, these little things. They may think it's small, but for people who've had their life wiped out, who are looking for anything to get excited about, it's really cool. Okay, so I decided that I'm going to relive or take back some of the things that I missed out in life. Okay, now everybody knows that Maria loves her lunch boxes. And the lunchbox that I had that I purchased back in 2016, well, let's just say, I had to throw it away. Okay, I had to throw it away. It was just not usable anymore. The little zipper part had come off, and it was like, okay, well, I need another one. So sadly, Maria had to start her new job with taking her lunch in a plastic bag, which I felt it was just horrible. It was a nightmare. Okay. So now Maria's about to order a new lunchbox, okay? And I will share it with you. I haven't really decided as to what lunchbox I'm going to be ordering. And like I said, hey, it might be small, but these little things are what keeps me going, right? So I'm trying to decide, okay, do I want something mystical or do I want something cute, like, something like Sanrio or something like Kawaii or Hello Kitty? I don't know what I'm going to get. I have no idea, okay? But I will make that decision and I will do it tomorrow evening. And then once it gets delivered, I will share that with you on a video. Now, I want to talk to you about my little trip to the Dollar Tree today. Now, everyone knows that I'm like a little cheap person. And it doesn't matter how much money I have because I know that they've played mind games with me in the past. Like, I think I'm doing good. Okay, so if most people, like, my last job, if I was dumb and I'm completely unaware of what was going on with my life, I would have been like, hey, let's take it to the next step. I think I'll get a house or something like that, right? And then I would have purchased a house, ended up getting screwed, right? Even worse. My situation would have been a house worse. Not only would I have had my car repossessed, but I also would have had a foreclosure on my house, okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, when I get attacked like that, the first thing I do is I think of, okay, how bad are these people going to sit here and mistreat me? Okay, am I going to end up being out in the street? You know what I mean? I seriously kept thinking about that. If that's true, then no one's getting paid. Screw you all, okay? Because I need to hang on to my resources. And yes, I'm not going to sit here. And I mean, you can only keep me on the hamster wheel for so long, okay? And then they'll try to act like, that you're some sort of deviant because you're not paying your bills, and they try to make you feel bad and all this other stuff. I'm not talking about the people who are targeting me necessarily. I'm just saying is how, unfortunately, this is what happens to people. Okay, because believe me, I have worked so many years to get my credit like right as rain, and then it got right as rain, and then my life fell apart again, right? So here I am again, and I'm playing it easy. So I decided to get myself a few little treats at the Dollar Tree today. Why? Because I needed to lift up my mood, okay? And like I said, they are all very small, very minor things, but I have learned to appreciate the smaller things in life. Obviously, as you can see from my decor, most of the things in my room are either handmade from me, or I got from the thrift store, or I refurbished something from a long time ago. Okay, but I enjoy that sort of stuff because I have learned to be very self-sufficient in everything that I do. I remember a few years ago, I decided to pack a picnic lunch and have a picnic in the park because I really, I was into like little picnic baskets. I really wanted a picnic basket. And because I really didn't know anyone to like go out on a picnic with, I went on a picnic myself. And then I told my coworker that I went on. It was a coworker? No, it was actually somebody who used to attend the Kingdom Hall. I said, yeah, I got this cute little picnic set and I went on a picnic. And she was like, man, Ray, you really know how to entertain yourself. I'm like, yeah, I know how to entertain myself. So being a loner to me really isn't that tragic, okay? But I was thinking, it's like, because in my life, the people that come into my life are usually people who, it's like a plan type thing. But I kept thinking how beautiful it would be to have like a random friendship. Like I'm walking out the supermarket and I meet this chick that who's looking at herbal teas, and then we struck up a conversation. And the next thing you know, we're she's hanging at my house, we're talking, and then we were planning on going visiting cemeteries and doing weird stuff. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that people dream of. I don't know, what was that one show? Oh God, I can't think of the name of it. think it was like on Netflix. It was like right before I ended up losing my job for the millionth time. Anyway, it had Christina Applegate in it, and she had a friend in there, right? Well, the things like you watch these movies, right, with like these like female friendships, and you think, man, I wish I had like a friendship that deep, right? I wish I had a friendship that was that cool. Unfortunately, okay, I think a lot of people like those. Like, 'cause some people like that movie, Thelma and Louise, that sort of things. I think everybody dreams of having that ideal friendship. But oh well, I'd rather be by myself than deal with people who are going to abuse me, and that's just the way it is. But deep down inside, you always think, man, I wish I had that sort of connection. It would be really cool to have like somebody hanging out and doing weird stuff with me, like the card thing, breaking out cards, experimenting with different forms of divination. Now, this is one of the reasons why I went to the Dollar Tree today, because a few days before that, I think it was like last week, I was strolling through the aisles, and I had noticed these cards at the front of the, how you go and you check out in the checkout line, and there's like this little aisle, and you just have like candy bars and like keychains and stuff, and they had these little packs of cards, right? And so these cards, let me see what they look like. These cards are this one. They had different ones. Okay, they had one pack for like your family, one pack for like relationships, one pack, I think it was something else, and then they had this one called conversation cards, right? And so what it is like they're different, like 108 prompts to initiate a conversation. Now, no, everybody who really knows me knows I don't need these cards, because I can sit here and bring up stuff, make up stuff. I can bring a card. I can literally pull a conversation out of nowhere. Okay, because Marie's kind of weird. She's got this big mind, right? But the reason why I got these cards is because I want to see an experiment as to, can these cards be used for a form of divination? And the same thing goes for the other packs that were associated. Now, this box of cards is not meant for divination. Okay, what it's meant to do is probably get conversations started. Like the pack that was specifically for families, I'm thinking that family might, a family might purchase those cards, like, for example, because some people don't really have a chance to talk to their kids, and because they're adults, they really don't know, like, am I saying too much? Are they able to understand the things that I'm talking about? This sort of stuff, because there's age barriers, there's time barriers too, because what kids are interested in now, people really can't relate to if you're like older than, right? So maybe somebody might think, okay, I need some help here. I don't, because some people really do. There are some people, okay, even though I had a shitty family, okay, I'm sure hopefully there's somebody who gives a crap about their family, okay? So they might go through different methods of trying to find ways of communication. So this is not necessarily a bad idea, okay, for that reason. Okay, but I got them to see, and it looks like, for example, if a person wanted to use them for divination for their family, let's just say, for example, they feel like their family is weakening. Like people aren't really saying, their kids aren't talking to them, they're not really sharing their thoughts, and maybe the parent notices that the kid's feeling depressed, and the kid's not really wanting to talk about it. Maybe, because haven't really looked at these cards yet, because this is why this is such a big deal about this video, okay? Maybe those cards could reveal the things that the kid really wants to communicate and talk to the parent, okay? So let's see how these cards really work, okay? So the box, it comes in this box that slides out, right? So when you open the box, be very careful. They have 2 plastic tabs that secure the bottom of this from falling out. So a lot of times when you purchase cards, like for me, I have found like card boxes at the dollar store. I have also made pouches for certain cards. Like, I have a few tarot decks, and I also have some like regular playing card decks, right? So in this case, just be careful opening the box, because you want to be able to store them back if you don't have an additional like card box or bag to keep your cards in. Okay, and they also come in plastic, so that's going to have to go. This seems a little tight around the deck of cards, but I'm going to go ahead and destroy this plastic, as well as the cardboard container that it comes in. I don't think I'm going to really worry too much about that. And if I need to store them, I think I have an additional box somewhere around here. If not, I'll use some cloth until I get a box. How about that? So let's see how this works. And now I don't expect these cards to be in any particular order. Mainly because I think what they are is 108 random type questions. So I'm going to use this deck of cards to see what people want to ask me. People here in my community want to ask me, or at least try. So usually when I get Yeah, this plastic is like really not working. Hang on, let me get here my scissors. I rearranged my room a few weeks ago, and I'm getting used to things being in different spots, you know. And I think rearranging your furniture, if you're somebody who feels emotionally desolated after dealing with trauma, and you don't have things to think about, you know what I mean. Sometimes, rearranging your furniture is a good thing to do. Okay, so I'm going to check the top card, because sometimes when you get cards of any kind, whether they be used for divination or just like playing cards, the top card might be some like extra card stock that doesn't say anything or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these to the best of my ability, and then I'm going to pull like 5 cards and answer certain random questions. And this is all with me. Oh, you know what? Let me cleanse these really quick. Let me cleanse these. Now, typically when I get a new deck of divination cards, I cleanse my deck. Let me see. I got this sage at on Amazon, but there's a place here in Bakersfield. It's over there off of you know where they have off of Brundage, where they have the swap meet. I go there from time to time. And all you have to really do is just kind of move it around the deck a little bit, because obviously there's different ways of cleansing. You know, like you could use holy water to clean like an object that's not paper. Okay, but for things that are paper, I recommend smudging or using a purifying incense. Okay, so now these are cleansed. Oh shit, I just dropped my cards. Hang on a second. Oh wow. A lot of these are face up too. I can't read them all. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and come back after I pick up all these cards. I thought I'd use this interruption to make the announcement. I did introduce the 4th quarter newsletter on the last Monday Merriment, and I am much aware that my videos are still being uploaded to another shadow channel. I realize that I can't do anything about this. However, I know the views on my channel get really messed up because of this issue. But I would like people to take a look at my newsletter, and I would definitely appreciate it if you would forward that newsletter to somebody that you care about. Also, I am attaching in the description box the archive copies of the Swan Manifesto's newsletter. That's the first all the way to the 4th quarter newsletter in the description box. The Swan Manifesto will continue for 2025. Thank you. Okay, that's pretty funny. I didn't mean to drop all of those, but okay, so I'm going to pull 5 random cards. And the question is what do people in the community want to ask me now in light of everything that's happened? And let's see if these can answer that. Also, when you get new cards, whether there be divination or you're experimenting with different forms of divination, this to me is an experiment of divination. Why? Because these are not meant for divination. They're just meant to be pulled at random when you really don't have anything to say. Okay. All right, here we go. And like I said, you know, praying over your cards, you know, visualizing them being protected, and that only angelic forces that are non-deceptive. You know, that's very important that you see it this way. Something pure, okay? Something that doesn't even have the ability to even think bad things, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For now, this box still has the bottom end of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and store them upside down. And these are exclusively made by that company from, from the Dollar Tree. Greenbrier International Incorporated. I see that stamped on all their stuff. Okay. Okay, the first one is, what is your favorite way to give back to your community or help others? Amazing. Amazing. Interesting question. Well, in the past, when I was working, stable, I was stable. If I saw people, like people who needed help, I would help them if I had the ability to do. But when it comes to, I think my ability or my overall way of helping a community or helping people in general is by me setting an example of high standards. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I would never say that. But I do think that a lot of my work that I have created has unfortunately been misdirected and misused. Okay. But that doesn't stop me from wanting to share things that give people some hope and happiness in life. Okay. And in this world, I think that's the only thing I really can give. Try to point out the things that we do have that are positive. If I was a wealthy person, I thought about that question, and my focus would definitely be on things like the homeless, and what do you call it? Helping people get back on their feet. That's been something that I've always. I'm never going to be that wealthy. Okay, I'm never going to be that wealthy. Unfortunately, I think this is one of my biggest issues when it comes to living in the hell realm. How things are always manipulated, directed. Now, I know that I have a very sharp, brilliant mind, and there's a lot of things that I have always wanted to create. And unfortunately, like I said, they tried very hard to keep me from never getting credit, from never having any sort of things that are going to flourish. And that's unfortunate, you know what I mean? And I do know that some of my work has been given, or maybe possibly even money has been earned and given to other people. That's one thing that I don't appreciate. Like when people, like philanthropy is something that I think is important. And I do refer to myself as a philanthropist. That's somebody who gives and donates their resources, whether that be actual resources or even somebody who gives information. And I do think that the information that I provide people is something that's life sustaining. And I also do believe that, giving people a different perspective on how to live their everyday life through the way that I live. Now, this was not my original intention, but I do know that all eyes were on me because of the bloodline targeting. Okay. And I am somebody who doesn't have a whole lot, but I make the best out of what I have. And this is, I believe, the only way that people can make it through hell. You know what I mean? Be grateful to go to the 99-cent store. Be happy to have that selection of different coffee cups, as small as it is. We might think that it's a great idea to chase after, what do you call it? This imaginary world that a lot of us from the get-go are never going to have. You know what I mean? So be happy with what you do have. And that's all you can do. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, you should be happy, especially after, you don't want archons to sit here and drain you. You know what I mean? So if the archons enjoy your suffering, do what you can to not suffer. Okay, but I will tell you, they did a lot of damage. So my overall contribution to community and society overall is hopefully giving them something better to live for. The next thing is, the question is, what is one thing you appreciate about your own resilience or ability to bounce back from difficult situations? Damn, I really do believe these have the power to give you this information. Just pray, focus. I do believe that these questions are exactly what these people are thinking. And I'm only choosing 5 cards, okay? So, what is one thing you appreciate about my own resilience and ability? Because what I appreciate about this situation is because I've always had, and I I'm not trying to offend anyone, okay, but I've always had a pretty overall negative view of government in general. That was not me in any way trying to screw the system, show disrespect to it. I understand it was something that fully needed to operate, okay, but I also understand it seems as though for a very long time that there has been some sort of blind, dark energy that was cast over society in general. Okay, and unfortunately, because people were leaning towards things that should not have crept into our government. Okay, like, the influence of certain outside forces, they let go in, and they used religion to do that. Now, it's not, and I said I do not want to ever say or put down somebody's faith or anything like that, but this is what happened. Okay, so my resilience in this matter to bounce back, it shows that the reason why I was able to bounce back is because I knew that I was right. And I also knew that I'm grateful for this because it shows that it proves a lot of issues. Okay, like I said before, I've covered it before. Okay, so that makes me grateful, not because in a way that I'm boastful about it. It's a fact that, hey, you know what, I'm picking up and moving on for another day. That's it. Okay, because in the hell realm, that's all you can be grateful for. I mean, seriously, it is that bad. That's why I'm so into lunch boxes right now. Okay, so find something that you really enjoy, and so hang on another day. So that's what it is. Me bouncing back, me finding coping mechanisms, even if it's something small. You know what I mean? Even if it's something small, make a big deal out of it. Make a big fucking deal out of it, because it's, it gives you something to hang on for. You know what I mean? Oh, and don't even get me started on coffee cups, because I am like so into coffee cups too right now. Okay, so like I said, it's those little things, and being able to recognize what you can be grateful for, and my limitations. Okay, unfortunately, I understand. The life is screwed. I understand that. I talked about the exploitation of the system. Okay, I did. Okay, and not trying to offend anybody. I used to be afraid to talk about how I felt about the system. Okay, even though I lived in America, only because I saw such a negative view of a patriotism. Like, it almost seems like a lot of people were using patriotism as a form of a hate crime. Of course, but then I was a target, right? So I always kept thinking, okay, I understand that this is how you see it, but I kept thinking this is so contrary to what the laws and what was written for the establishment. And I understand the establishment was established by white people. I fully get that. Okay. But it was like these people were so off the mark, and it seemed like I was the only person. Even though I was one person, okay, I believed in what I was saying. Okay, I believed in everything that I was saying, and this is why, and this is how I bounced back. You know what I mean? And I proved a lot. I proved a lot about the education system. I proved a lot about race. I proved a lot about religion. I proved a lot about a lot of stuff. Okay, so the overall questioning is what is one thing I appreciate? My ability to overcome stuff. My ability to be childish, my ability to be frivolous, my ability to make big deal out of lunch boxes and coffee cups. This is what keeps me hanging out. It's coping mechanisms. That's what the answer would be. Okay, the next thing is, what is your favorite way to relax and unwind? Music, and more music. Different kinds of music. And then also, there's times where I want to talk about boredom. There's times where I deal with boredom mainly because of, like I said, my thoughts. Okay, it is no longer a comfort for me to think about the good old days. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't comfort me anymore, except for, like, the times when I'm out in solitude, thinking about old family members and stuff like that. These are the people that took advantage of me. These are the people that, I mean, it's hard for me to deal with, right? So now that they wiped everything out and took everything out from me, I can't sit here and think about, oh, one day I'm going to be able to launch this project and it's going to be successful. They even fucking wipe out your dreams, okay? For the future. Ha ha, that's what they do. That doesn't mean stop me from trying. And that doesn't stop me from wanting to produce, because I can produce. I love producing work. And I'm still going to do videos. It's just I'm not going to be doing them as often. And I'm not going to be doing it trying to monetize my work, which sucks, though, because, I thought my work was great. Anyway, that would be my way of relaxing and unwinding. I love music of all kinds, and different kinds of music suits different moods. And for those times of boredom where I feel like I'm stagnant, like I have nothing to think about, sometimes I feel like it's important to shift the direction. If I feel like there's really nothing to do, sometimes just turning on that Nexum like 604 channel that shows all the weird trippy stuff, and just opening my mind and just watching the imagery. Okay. Sometimes I throw on incense. Incense can be used not just in rituals, but it can also be used to set the mood. You know what I mean? If you feel bored in one way, I try to change the environment. Maybe sometimes I even experiment with lighting. not just the blue light bulb for psychic work, but sometimes maybe the light, your mind might be more stimulated if the light is moved over to another corner. This is the importance of like being able to rearrange a room if you have to. Okay, so that would be it. Music. And I also do like my arts and crafts. That's another way of unwinding. Okay, I'm on number 4. Wow. Okay, if you could have any fictional artifact that grants you eternal youth, what would it be? Wow, an artifact. I love stuff. God. Huh. That is a weird question, but do I believe this something like this is valid? Like people here in Bakersfield are asking these questions. Yes, I do. Okay, so I know my dad used to talk about the art of the covenant a lot, and now I'm starting to think about that now. Why would he mention this all the time? But that's not my thing. Okay, I'm thinking, I like things with paranormal energy attached to it, and things that combine my interest of objects. Okay, like for example, freak. I'm a train freak. Okay, and I remember like feeling like I wanted to walk around the railroad tracks and feel the energies of the people who helped build the railroad system in the town just weird stuff like that. Odd stuff from like time periods of possibly when I used to live or something. This is something I know that I tend to be attracted to old objects from time periods that I lived. Okay, so generally it's either items of clothing that maybe my ancestors wore. What else? Just odd, unusual things. And I don't have anything specific in mind when it comes to that. I just like things that have a lot of highly charged residual energies. And this is one of the reasons why I love thrift stores and antique shops and stuff like that. Okay. So the last question is, if you could be any fictional character, who would you choose and why? Hmm. I thought the Powerpuff Girls were really cool. You know what I mean? I used to love the Powerpuff Girls. I actually did like a little picture. I used a picture of a little black hair, a Puff Girl with her little hair all up in like puffs, Afro puffs and stuff. Yeah, I think I would probably be a Powerpuff Girl. But I was thinking, and it kind of has me giggling throughout the day because I've been talking about my desire to do different projects with different people, and unfortunately, I'm never in a situation where I can like do that. But I know that I've wanted to do like stop animation, um, and use my Gabby doll in the stop animation, and I also want in the future to maybe create comic strips, but I also, I want to do a lot of different things. I want to do a lot of different things. And not something like professionally, just for fun. Just for fun, okay? But I was thinking about the character of CB Berganza, right? And I was also thinking about, some of the corny shows that I used to watch. Remember Bill Cosby and the Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids with Bill Cosby and Fat Albert, right? And I kept thinking, okay, well, like I could see CB Berganza drawn in kind of like one of those characters, like with the real funky. Because I'll tell you, when it comes to '70s clothes, I love '70s clothes. I love like the big collars and stuff like that. And I think that if CB Berganza was around at that time, he would have been like really flashy, very flashy. And I think it'd be kind of cool to make like just at least just one Saturday morning cartoon about CB Berganza, who has the ability to flip back and forth through like being CB Berganza and then flips to Maria Gordon. I think that would be like really awesome. Like, and she solves mysteries and crimes as Maria Gordon and goes back in time through some weird stuff. Yeah, I think about stuff like that. And you know why I think about stuff like that? Because I have nothing to think about. That's why. That's why. Okay. But yeah, that answers the question. I would definitely be a Powerpuff Girl. So back to my little shopping thing, my little shopping spree at the Dollar Tree. Okay, so as I was talking about my lunchbox and my need to have these lunchboxes, and I'm going to say lunchboxes. Okay, mind you, I live in an apartment and I don't have a lot of space to store stuff, so I can't sit here and like have this lunchbox collection. Okay, I can't do that. It's unfortunate too. Okay, because I do think that I would like to have a lunchbox of like maybe a favorite character, and I also like to have a lunchbox something kind of mystical, because you know Maria loves her weird stuff. And then I also want like a lunchbox, maybe for some of the cool holidays that I love. Okay, like Christmas, like I maybe one with poinsettias on it or something cute like that. And then maybe or snowmen, I love that. And then maybe I love Valentine's Day, something with cute with hearts on it. That would be really cute. Okay, so I want different like lunchboxes. That's what I'm into right now. Okay, whatever, I gotta live, and this is what I'm living for right now. And so, of course, organization is important in my lunchbox. Okay, so I'm trying to get as many colorful things to store my lunches in, you know, and I do bring my snacks in my lunchbox as well. So I like things compartmentalized as much as I possibly can. And like I said, this is frivolous stuff, but I don't have anything else to live for. Sounds pathetic, right? But okay. Anyway, yeah, you get 3 of these for $1.25. Okay, and I have gone online and looked at the different ones. Like they have things like Hello Kitty lunch containers. They have, you know, done some different designs on it, and I plan on collecting those anyway. And I need these anyway. I tend to buy these a lot and then end up replacing them. And you know, and this is what they're really used for. They're disposable if they have to be, but you can continue using them. So you get 3 in a pack with those. Okay, so I have been in need to replenish my incense supply. Okay, and there's a lot of great suppliers of incense on online. Okay, but I'm always open to trying different incense. Okay, and I saw these at the dollar store, the Dollar Tree store. Okay, and yeah, it's got the Dollar Tree, the Greenbrier International ink stamped on the back of these. So the first one is lemongrass, and I got this lemongrass because you know I love being in like psychic mode. I love being in psychic mode. This is what I'm meant to be. I'm a psychic. Okay, so lemongrass is good for that. So I got this. What's cool about this is right now, I would say incense has gone up. Back in the day, I used to like collect incense like nobody's business, and incense like in cone shape, incense in stick form, and then I also used to use like the kind where you would actually have the little tablet. I'll show you what this looks like. This is like the charcoal. This is charcoal, and then you have to get it like a sensor like this, and you get like real pieces of, you can make your own incense too. You can like get dried pieces of flowers, leaves, whatever, and you light this kind of charcoal, and it burns in this. This is specifically made for indoor use. Okay, so you can't like use a regular piece of charcoal. You have to get this kind. Okay, but and it's kind of nice because if you're like really wanting to like get into a certain trance, you want to light your charcoal first, and as it's like smoldering, this is when you add like the dry crushed herbs or whatever. So I use different forms of incense, and I'm always on the lookout, still to this very day, for an incense bargain. So back in the day when I was like back in the 90s, incense was usually like about, you get like 10 sticks for $1. And incense, of course, has gone up since then, right? So it's cool when you can get more than 20 sticks of incense for about $1. So the Dollar Tree is like $1.25. So in this case, I get 50 sticks of lemongrass incense. That's awesome. And then I got this one right here. This is jasmine. And jasmine is good for prophetic dreams. So, you know, there's times where I light a stick of incense and lay down, turn on some like trippy music, and just let my mind run. Okay, and this is what helps me fall asleep sometimes, especially if I don't have a lot to think about. So anyway, I'm going to give these cards my stamp of approval. So if you want to use these cards and you're interested in trying them, like I said, they have different varieties. If you're interested, one of those people who are interested in collecting different decks, like, you know, I collect like some playing cards, I have some tarot cards, and use different other forms of divination, like random things like this. Okay, they can be used for divination. So I proved it. I believe these are the kind of questions that people want to ask me. So go ahead and get a pack if they interest you. You know exactly where they're looking. I don't know if every single Dollar Tree has the same arrangements, but I'm pretty sure you're going to find them close to the register. So anyway, this concludes my video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Bye-bye.